Do you agree with me or disagree?
I have said to you 1,000 times, I feel like what you are asking me to do right now, I'm looking at the cost of life. This is how I analyze things.
You can't agree. You're not going to agree with me.
I am uncomfortable with the amount of innocent life that is lost right now in Gaza.
So you're not the one to agree with me. Let's move on because there's other stuff. Because there's another piece in an article.
Part of it feels like you want me to weigh, like, is Jewish innocent life worth more than Palestinian innocent life? And I'm not comfortable with that.
You made that clear that you don't view it the same, or you'd be able to say that what happened.
I view innocent life as innocent life. Like I'm saying, it's just innocent life lost.
Candace, you made it clear you weren't able to answer yes to that question. Fine, let's move on to something else that is.
But I want to again state.
You want to make yourself clear. I don't need more.
No.
You've made yourself clear. You're good. I'm good.
Please stop, because it's important for listeners to understand. When you ask a question like that, okay, it's different than you saying, do you think it is justified for people to defend themselves? You are basically asking me a question, is more Israeli life, is that more of an evil when it's lost than when more Israeli, than more innocent Palestinian life? And I'm not comfortable with that question.
Candace, that's not what I said.
But that is...
No, I made a statement of my beliefs and only asked you if you could agree or disagree. You couldn't take a stand. I'd like to move to something else in that article that we have not discussed, because I am conscious of time, which is you make a comment again, and I think you do want to discuss this as well, I'm going to guess. And I want to be conscious of your time, because I think it's important. You said where you stand on October 7th. That's fine. You stand where you stand. You make a comment in your comments back to Shmuley Boteach about, and again, you make an equivalency when you talk about the Hollywood Jewish gangs, that Kanye West believes that, and that shouldn't we be able to talk about it? And you make the analogy with Crips and Bloods, and I make the comment how anti-Semitic this is because it's a trope that goes back almost 100 years. There was and how Jews control Hollywood. In the 1920s, the Hollywood entertainment industry was started by the majority of the people who Jews were Jews. They couldn't get jobs in any other business when they came to this country. Many of them were sons of rabbis. And there's a truth, and there's a great book called Empire of Their Own. The entertainment industry was started by Jews. And how they did control Hollywood in the early days, they employed other Jews who were unemployed. That stops by the 60s and 70s and is totally gone by the 80s and 90s. Okay? And it is gone. It is a trope that people say. Understand that when we go back, remember we talked about blood libel? Blood libel has become a term that's understood by academics, anthropologists, socialists, not political, but social anthropologists. The blood libel is when you're blaming Jews for the problems of people, that other people, that you're radically blaming them for because of the anti-Semitism as a form of anti-Semitism. For many decades, you were told, oh, the Jews control Hollywood, this secret cabal, and they control Hollywood. You perpetuated that. Again, I understand you're defending against Shmuley Boteach. I understand that you explained yourself about Rubbish. But you made the specific comments about this Jewish group, I think you call them gangs or thugs, as opposed to saying that there are people who run Hollywood who are bad people, do bad things. I'm not going to question whether there are or are not. But you identified the noun to their acting badly as a Jew. When the reality is that Jews don't control Hollywood. There may be many executives who are Jews, but that doesn't mean that they are anything other than Jew in name only. They go to temple twice a year. You and I both know Christians like that, right?
Yes. So I just...
We both know that like that, right? I wouldn't judge a Christian. I would not judge Christians based on the idea that some of those guys who don't really practice Christianity, as my friends who are pastors define it, I'm not Christian, that people who call themselves Christian but don't act in a Christian way, I would never use the noun of Christians. Whether these people, their mothers were Jewish or not, you perpetuated an anti-Semitic trope that is almost a century old. And as opposed to saying there's some bad guys who are doing bad things, and when they're called out about it, they hide behind all of anti-Semitism.